Welcome back to our Friday night live stream. Today's theme is all about burning visceral fat. I'm going to share with you guys exactly what works for myself and my Steak and Butter Gang members. Before I get to the exact system, though, I want to show off one of my own Steak and Butter Gang members. Her name is Dagmar, and before I bring her on as my guest, she actually won the Transformation Prize in the most latest Steak and Butter Gang Challenge. So we do monthly 90-day challenges, and I want to know if you're watching this, are you in the Steak and Butter Gang already? Are you a member? Drop it in the comments that you are. And Dagmar won the Transformation Prize of $1,000 in cash because her transformation was just that incredible. And in the challenges, we do not look for the most dramatic before and after in photos alone. We are interested in seeing who has completely reversed their mental health conditions, pain, ailments, issues that they've struggled with their whole entire life. We try to be as well-rounded as possible in awarding each month's Transformation Prize winner. So Dagmar won, and I'm going to bring her on stage right now so that she can share a little bit about her story. So Dagmar, welcome. How did you find the carnivore diet, first of all?
Hi. So I found it through my daughter. My daughter introduced me to you. She's been watching you for some time. And she said, so try carnivore, and why don't you try the carnivore challenge?
And how young is your daughter?
She is 22.
And is she carnivore herself?
Yes.
So you guys do carnivore
Yes.
together. That's
We do
awesome.
carnivore together. She also started the challenge, but because she is a student athlete and she does a lot of training, she didn't think that she could do the fasting and the protocol to sustain the regimen that she is following in the college.
Wow.
So,
Okay, well,
yeah.
I am honored that I have a mother and daughter duo in the Steak and Butter Gang doing the challenge. And I also want to know, when you first got exposed to the carnivore diet, probably from your daughter, were you skeptical seeing her eat only meat?
I was extremely skeptical. For years, I was skeptical and I was very worried.
Wow. And so, what
But
was the switch that finally made you feel convinced?
the switch was when I started I started watching the show, your live stream, your podcasts,
Wow.
the videos with Dr. Barry, Dr. Cowles, with all the wonderful coaches, um, with Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
It really that it made the switch.
Wow. That's incredible. I'm honored to have helped you make that switch because every single week on this show, we get asked, well, my wife, my daughter, my son doesn't believe a carnivore diet is actually healthy. How can I convince them? So there you go, guys. Show them your favorite carnivore channels, share the videos, share these channels. It just takes some time to watch these videos, watch the content, the testimonials. This video right here, feel free to share after it is posted. It truly is so powerful when you hear real people talking about it and living it. So, a question to everyone in the live chat: what convinced you? Because I'm sure you guys all started off hearing about carnivore and thinking it was crazy. So, what made you feel convinced? What was the switch for you? Please share your stories and experiences in the comments. Adrian, I see your comment. How do I sign up for the Steak and Butter Gang challenges? It is literally linked in the description. I always make sure it is the first clickable link. So if you want to click it, read on the details, go ahead, but it is always in the description box. Okay. So I want to show off Dagmar's before and after photos here because when she submitted her Transformation Prize submission, they shocked and impressed all of us on the panel. And the panel that awards these monthly $1,000 prizes is me, all of my coaches, Dr. Phil Smith, and all of my moderators on the team. So it's a panel of 10 judges, and we just couldn't help but award it to Dagmar. So Dagmar, why don't you explain and narrate what's going on before and after here?
So the first picture, the one from August, I am sitting next to my daughter. I was so reluctant to even take any pictures. So it is very poor picture as well. But I think it also describes the overall kind of fatigue, exhaustion, just blah life that I felt. The one on the right side, um, from October 29th, is I was full of life. I was taking the picture and I was just ecstatic that I finished. And then once I put them next to each other, it just blew me away to see the difference.
Incredible. Now, besides photos showing how far you've come in just a short amount of time, what other things changed, healed, improved that maybe you can't see through photos?
So just like everyone says on, that shares, the bloating that women talk about all the time, that completely disappeared. It vanished literally overnight. I was able to sleep through the night, and I still am able to sleep through the night. The only time I wake up is because I drink too much water before night. But other than that, and I sleep sound asleep. I wake up in the morning and I'm completely rested. Brain fog, absolutely no brain fog. And then with following the priming, I was able to completely kill any sugar cravings. And I think that is a victory above all, because I I had sugar cravings constantly. Anytime there was a little stress, oh, let's see, do I have any chocolate, any cake, at school? They always, they think that to treat people is to bring them more sweets, which is not good. So having it around is not helpful. But with the proper priming, I absolutely have no cravings whatsoever. Even if in at school when they have cake, on Halloween, all the candies around, everybody's offering you, oh, would you like to go trick or treating with us through the school? No, thank you. I don't. I don't need to. And even if it's around me or in front of me, it doesn't faze me. Um, my mood also improved significantly, because I have a stressful job. The stress, I'm able to manage it much better, and I don't feel depressed and frustrated with food. Like if the liberation with the fasting and the protocol helped also as well, that I can just plan for one meal. If I'm doing OMADs, I have one meal that I plan for, and then I don't have to worry about anything else. Um, it just another one was getting rid of my blood pressure medication, which was amazing victory as well. So it
Wow.
was numerous things. Yeah.
Amazing. Let's all give a huge congratulations to Dagmar for all of the progress that she has made, but also for winning the Transformation Prize. Dagmar, thank you for sharing your story and thank you for visiting the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for everything that you have done for me. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, let me know what questions you have because Dagmar just now shared the results and the progress in healing that she has achieved through the priming and fasting protocol within the steak and butter gang challenges. If you guys don't know what it is, drop the questions now. I am more than happy to introduce it to you guys, explain it, define it, and I will just do questions for the rest of the hour with you guys. Yes, congratulations to Dagmar. Yay, let me show off some comments. You guys are so positive and so supportive here. All right, let me get back to the theme actually. Today's theme is all about how to burn visceral fat. I first learned about visceral fat from Dr. Sean O'Mara, and he told me that it's the fat in the organs, so the fat that we can't really see. And I feel like when it comes to burning fat, whether it's visceral or on our body, where it's the one that's visible, it's showing in the tummy, it's showing in the waist, it's showing in the ankles, in the face, the first thing we need to do is assess what we're eating. It's not about you're not moving enough. It's not about you need to start doing cardio. It's definitely not about you're not going to the gym. I really believe that gym is not necessary. In fact, exercise is not necessary to burn fat. Exercise is a great tool to up the muscle, to change the body recomposition, to feel stronger, and to feel healthier. But we can't do any of that until we have healed through our nutrition. So the first step that I really want to introduce to maybe more of the new viewers here is let's first cut out the carbs. Do I think you need to cut out the carbs all at once immediately? I actually do not recommend that at all. Who here is still eating some carbs? If you're eating some plants, some fruits, some grains, some bread, we can slowly titrate those carbs down. The first food that I want you to cut out immediately is anything with seed oils, anything with refined sugar. Leave in the plants, like the vegetables and the fruits, and first cut out the refined sugar and the processed foods. Anything with seed oils, please cut it out. Do it for as long as you need to slowly transition to a full carnivore diet. Okay, what is a carnivore diet? Let me quickly define it. It's basically a diet where you only eat animal foods. It doesn't mean only beef and lamb. It means beef, chicken, poultry, seafood, lamb, cheese, yogurt, eggs, butter, milk, all of it. That is a carnivore diet to me. Something more strict like beef, salt, and water is more lion diet territory. And I feel like that's not necessary at all when starting a carnivore diet, unless you have extreme healing from autoimmune type issues to do. The third step when you are fully adapted to a carnivore diet is to start playing around with intermittent fasting and extended fasting. That is not really my territory or my expertise. It is Coach Raymond's territory. I'm not sure if he will join us today. He might hop on later. But with fasting, I can share with you guys my own experiences, what I have played around with and learned and tried, what I feel like is the most effective and which are just not effective for women specifically. So I'm going to start jumping into the questions now. See a lot of you guys here submitting questions. Thank you for joining me tonight, by the way. Every Friday night, I look forward to seeing who shows up, who updates me, and all of the awesome questions. So first, we have Kim. Kim says, I have heart palpitations and a higher blood pressure periodically. Is this normal? I want to really stress that when you first go carnivore, there is a real thing called an adaptation period. This question is really for my team member, Dr. Phil Smith, and he comes every other Friday. I feel like Phil would just say, if you are new to carnivore, give it more time. Give your body more time to adapt. With the heart palpitations, the first thought that comes to mind is, are you eating rendered fat? Are you drinking the melted, cooked, hot, rendered fats? Because that could trigger heart palpitations, heartburn, nausea, and indigestion. Instead of eating the rendered, melted, and cooked fats, I recommend swapping those out for cold butter. Cold butter, raw beef fat trimmings, solid fats are just easier to digest. Okay, with the higher blood pressure, I would wait and come back next week and ask Dr. Phil on that. Okay, Adrian, I need to become a member. I need help. Adrian, you're in the right place. We go live here every single week. So these live streams are free. Obviously, you guys are watching this. And we try to provide as much help and guidance as possible through the questions that we get, like what I'm doing right now. But if this setting is not intimate or helpful enough and you want more tailored guidance, then I do recommend, Adrian, to join the challenge. Because within the challenge, you can hop on these awesome Zoom calls with my coaches, with doctors, with experts, ask your question live, and get the troubleshooting you need live on Zoom. So that is linked down below in the description box. Okay, we can't wait to welcome you in. Awesome. Let me put this one. Small wonder. Dagmar, that's wonderful that you and your daughter are Team Carnivore together. Yay. Oh, wait, Dagmar is still backstage. Hi. I thought you left already. Wait, if you're still here, we can just do the live together if you want.
Sure.
Okay, great. So, what is your best recommendation for young women and young gentlemen who are in their 20s? What is working for your daughter when it comes to sticking to a carnivore diet? Any tips or tricks?
She is extremely disciplined. So I actually admire her. But what worked for me is just like you have suggested to the previous member, that to join the State and Border Gal and Gang team, the challenge. And there are so many resources. It's just amazing. And like you said, going on to the Zooms, that's what I tried to do at first. I just hop on almost every single one of them and going onto the different chats, and that helps the most because it provides you the support and all the wonderful questions that people have. It's just like people say, there is no stupid question, there's no bad question. It's always the questions that somebody else is thinking of, or you may not be thinking about it, but it pops up and it answers the question that you may have later on. So it really is, I think that is the best resource to have, and the support.
Thank you for all the compliments. I really, really, really appreciate it. And it just makes me extra, extra happy to know that people who come into the challenge, they are actually getting the help and guidance and answers they need. And I do agree with you. The best guidance you can get is in those Zoom calls. So although we have the forum, the website, the chat boxes, the little articles and resources you can read and watch, the magic is in the live Zoom calls. So I do recommend anyone who's in the challenge watching today's show to make it to as many live Zoom calls as possible, because you can talk to the team live, and that's definitely very helpful. So thank you, Dagmar.
Yes.
All right, let me read Catherine's on the screen. I am 73 and I've been following strict carnivore. How to counteract becoming so drowsy after lunch? Any tips helpful to be more productive in the afternoons? I'll give you my best tips and then I'll see if Dagmar wants to chime in. If you have a bit of drowsiness after eating a carnivore meal, to me, that's just a sign that your body needs to adapt a little bit longer. I see it as totally normal if you're a newbie carnivore to feel tired, sleepy, a little bit drowsy after eating nothing but meat and fat. Your body needs to know and slowly learn how to eat so many carbs, not that much protein, and most likely low fat. I'm assuming you all ate that way before carnivore, to slowly using fat as the main source of fuel and energy, with all the protein you're eating along with that as well. It takes some time to become fat adapted, is the term that all of these experts use to explain the process of using carbs and sugar and glucose as fuel, to slowly transitioning your body to use fat instead as fuel. And so I'm 7 years into this high fat carnivore journey, and I get asked almost every day on my social media, why don't you just eat a piece of fruit? Do you not crave fruit? Like, just eat an apple. After I went from vegan, I was vegan for 6 years. I was eating nothing but fruit and vegetables and beans and starches and sweet potatoes. So my fuel source was 100% glucose. When I made the switch to successfully burn fat for fuel, I'm telling you, I felt so good, so clear in my brain that I could never go back to that previous life burning sugar as fuel. I never have brain fog. I don't have to struggle with bloat anymore. My skin, I used to have cystic acne, guys. So many red pus filled pimples on my skin every single day. To wake up with clear skin, I will take this life over any other carb heavy life any day. I feel honestly way too good to ever go back to eating carbs. So this is my personal decision. I would love to know if any of you guys have maybe introduced some clean carbs, fruits, vegetables. Have you experimented? To this day, I'm 7 years in. I have not. I don't really plan to anytime soon. But that's just my personal perspective and what I have walked with my healing journey. But with the drowsiness, Catherine, I would eat your fat first and then your protein. That's a little trick. That's a little hack. Because if you're eating a lot of protein and then you're finishing it off with lots of fat, it could cause that extra drowsiness. So try eating fat first. So if you have butter and some ground beef patties, eat a couple bites of the butter first and then start eating your protein, the ground beef. Keep me posted. Let me know if that does anything for your drowsiness. And then the second thing, of course, is just give your body some more time. Dagmar, did you want to add at all? Did you feel this, the drowsiness?
I actually didn't. I didn't have any drowsiness, but I was thinking about at one point when I would feel tired, I would just kind of listen to my body and because I think that's what Coach Raymond talks about,
Yeah.
especially during the priming process, to having the body adjust is to listen to the body and not overdo it. Just rest.
Yes.
Give yeah.
I love that you really understood his protocol. You are a fantastic student. Clearly,
I try.
yes, but clearly you did it right because just look at your results. And so this is actually the perfect time to do this question from Aaron White. What is priming? So I've been a student of Coach Raymond's knowledge and protocol for a very long time now. When I first started Carnivore, I did priming myself, and I needed to prime for a total of 6 months. For me, priming is intentionally making sure you're finally eating enough. You're finally eating enough. And so a lot of times we get members who think they're eating enough. We analyze what they're eating, how many meals they're eating, we analyze their symptoms, and it is in fact they're not eating enough. So they are truly under eating. So a typical member will come into the steak and butter gang. They're not ready to prime, or maybe they don't even know about priming because we do get a lot of challengers coming in just to do a carnivore diet with us, not necessarily the priming. And they come to a Zoom call and they ask Coach Raymond, I don't know why my hair is still losing like or falling off my head. And I don't know why I'm still getting sugar cravings at night, but I'm eating plenty. Okay. And Raymond asks, how many meals are you eating? And they're like, well, I'm eating one meal a day because that's what I've always been doing. And that's what the keto diet community has recommended me to do. Bam. They're under eating. A lot of people don't know that one meal a day is very difficult to sustain and still eat enough. So we have a lot of members who are not losing weight, their energy is crashing, hair's falling out, not really looking or seeing the healing that they're looking for. And the culprit is mostly the under eating part. So Coach Raymond built this priming protocol, and it is the foundation of the steak and butter gang challenges now that requires you to eat 3 meals a day for 2 weeks. This is very much a light suggestion. a lot of our members, when they prime, they need to prime a lot longer than 2 weeks. Like me, I needed to prime for 6 months because I had so much healing I needed to do. And so when you couple priming, the 3 meals a day protocol, with a carnivore diet and you actually commit and stick to it until you are fully healed, it is probably the most effective way to get the healing and then the fat loss results down the line. And then, so after priming, which is level 1, month 1, Coach Raymond then walks all of the challengers to do his intermittent fasting and extended fasting protocol. And I won't touch that today because Raymond is not here and I don't want to butcher his intermittent fasting knowledge. But let me ask you, Erin, what were some of the biggest challenges when you did the priming? And what were some of the best benefits or the biggest surprises?
So the biggest benefits were, as I mentioned, um, the bloating completely stopped. The sugar cravings, they completely went away. No sugar cravings whatsoever. No snack cravings. Although during the priming, you are allowed to have 3 meals up to 5 meals if you need to, just to prime, if your body is asking for it. But those were huge. And as you said, I think I was also one of the people that was so confused. It's almost like, I don't know what to eat, how much to eat. But you also provided with us with kind of a meal plan that was extremely helpful, and some recipes that were super delicious. Tried almost all of them. So that gave me the guidance and the proper way to prime. And also, as Coach Raymond says, you eat until you're comfortably stuffed.
Yes.
And you have to listen to that. So you listen to your body, and you're really, really focusing on that. And I think that was really, really helpful, and it worked wonders.
Amazing. And remind us, how many months in are you as a carnivore?
So I'm just a beginning, just the baby. So I'm going into the 4th month.
So you
And
really started carnivore for the first time with the challenge, same time.
yes, yes.
Good for you. I honestly, personally feel like that is absolutely the best way to start the carnivore diet is with a community. It doesn't have to be the steak and butter gang, but Raymond has set up the protocol and the foundation to be very helpful. So thank you for that. Let's keep going. Saw. I try off and on and I get the cravings for carbs and sweets. So this is actually perfect that you asked this today. Just listen to what Dagmar said. She had no more sugar cravings. How? Because she did the priming. If you want to do the priming protocol properly, I do recommend you join the next 90-day challenge. We always start at the top of every month and we reset every single month. If you're not ready this month because of the holidays, you're traveling, you're busy, just do it next month. And if you're not ready next month, definitely do it New Year's World Carnivore Month in January with us. It's going to be epic. Okay, Terry, I still have cravings sometimes, so I probably need more fat, so more butter and priming for me. Ding, ding, ding. That's exactly what you need. You're so smart. Do it and keep us posted. Jan, I'm worried about oxalate dumping. Should you transition into carnivore? This is such a great question. I had oxalate dumping myself because a vegan diet is a very, very oxalate rich diet. Some foods that have a lot of oxalates are sweet potatoes, even plain potatoes, black pepper, kale, spinach, and the worst one of all, nuts. Any nut, including all nut butters, have a lot of oxalates in them. So this was basically my diet. So when I stopped eating the oxalates, my body, the first thing it wanted to do was dump out these teeny tiny crystals that were wreaking havoc in my body. So I do recommend, Jan, if you want to avoid the harsh oxalate dumping symptoms, please do a slow transition. Week 1, cut out all the ultra processed foods. Week 2, cut out any grains, pastas, rice, starches. Week 3, cut out any vegetables. And week 4, cut out whatever is remaining, fruits, whatever. And then week 5, you are ready to do a carnivore diet. Even better, join the challenge and do it with us. Dagmar, did you experience any oxalate dumping?
No, not yet.
Good for
I
you.
I remember you were mentioning that you had some crystals that came like through your eyes. Yeah,
Exactly.
but
Good for you. I'm glad you're not suffering. So that's good. You did
uh,
something right. So yeah. Okay, let me actually address the crystals because I'm sure someone who watches the playback will wonder what does that mean. So oxalates, firstly, I recommend checking out Sally Norton. Um, Lindy, if you don't mind typing out her name, Sally K. Norton, in the chat so people know exactly how it's spelled. Do look into Sally Norton if you suspect you're going through oxalate dumping or oxalate issues. Sally teaches that these oxalates are truly teeny tiny crystals, like actual crystals, that when you ingest it, they cause lots of, I guess, chaos, and it wreaks havoc in your organs within your body, even in your brain, she says. The most common oxalate dumping symptom is crystals coming out of the eyes, crystals coming out of the skin, the pores, and crystals coming out of our urine and as very foamy, cloudy urine. That's how you know it's most likely the oxalates. For me, it was coming out of my eyes so hard. Every morning I would wake up and I would have gunky, sticky crystals just infesting my eyelids and in my eyes. So that went on for a good, ugh, I don't even know the exact timeline, but it felt like a long time. Like maybe the first half year, I just kept having so much gunk out of my eyes, but it just gets better and better and better with time. Sally does have a very specific recommendations to lessen the oxalate dumping. So I do recommend ordering her book. It's called Toxic Superfoods. It is on Amazon and you can order it, read it, and learn exactly how to, I guess, heal from oxalate dumping, oxalate toxicity. JW wants to know, does keto play into this? So if you're trying to burn fat, keto could be very effective. The one thing though is please don't let a keto diet be the loophole and the open door for all of the fake sugary sweets. We need to cut that out because that's just fueling your sugar cravings. That's just fueling your cravings to eat more junk and overeat and not truly be in tune with your hunger and fullness signals, satiation cues. And so if you're going to do keto, low carb fruits at most, don't play around with the keto bars and the keto desserts and the keto chocolates. You can actually make clean carnivore versions with my recipes. Okay. So, like Dagmar says, there's a lot of recipes that I do whip up in my kitchen for my husband. And I always share it here on my channel. So you can just go to my playlist, link down below as well, and explore. Okay, Adrian, I would love to know more about this. I'm assuming about priming. I've tried carnivore before, but was never able to lose weight. Help. So, Dagmar, you were able to lose weight already as a newbie carnivore, only a few months in. What do you think it was that helped you lose the weight this time around? Oh, sorry. Let me just help you unmute. Okay.
um, so it was the trusting the process. One thing that Coach Raymond stressed and others, that you don't weigh yourself.
Mm,
And I did that. I completely left the scale alone. I still haven't even touched it.
nice.
And at first I was a little worried because um, I really didn't see any difference, especially in the clothes. And, the members also would come on and say, "Oh, I'm gaining weight. I don't know what's happening." And I thought, okay, it's okay. Just trust the process. And so I did. And surely enough, I think after about 6 weeks, the body has adjusted and it started to recomposition. And my clothes are fitting much better. My skin got tighter. I can notice that as well. And I'm not sure when I'm going to step on the scale, but I'm not ready yet.
That's okay. You don't ever have to be ready. The
Yeah,
scale, yeah, the
but
scale is a soul sucking thing.
I know that the change is there by the clothes. I can fit in clothes that I couldn't fit in for over 2 or 3 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Adrian, I think Dagmar's advice there, trusting the process and not letting dumb distractions get in the way and make us paranoid and ruin our progress is very key. So, when I say dumb distraction, I do think a scale is a dumb distraction. When we're trying to get our nutrition in order and trying to heal first before the fat starts to fall off, we need to stay committed. And so put the scales away for sure, like Dagmar said, and give it time. I know that trusting the process is easier said than done. It's just easier when you are aligned with a community that's doing it with you day after day, week after week, month after month. Keep us posted. All right, Shinny, I need to drop dairy again to heal a little bit more and may have reintroduced it a little too early, but it's too yummy to stop. Any helpful tips? Oh, I love this question. This is perfect for me. I could not have any dairy my first 1.5 year, just to be safe. 1.5 year. I was going to say 2 years, but Shinny, you do not need to be off dairy for 2 years. There is hope. I have some tips and tricks. Raw butter, to me, does not count as a problematic inflammatory dairy. It just does not, because raw unpasteurized butter is so nutrient dense and it's so easy to absorb and digest. Why do I say raw butter and not just any butter? Raw butter is not pasteurized. So all of those amazing nutrients, probiotics, enzymes are still intact. It's a pure fat. There are no carbs, carb content at all in this fat. And so it's literally this healing, satiating, magical gem of a food. So raw butter is going to be the safest bet. I know it's not the same as cheese. It doesn't hit the same. It doesn't taste as delicious, but butter alone can heal you so quickly so that you can quickly have the dairy again. If you haven't experimented with raw dairy, like raw cheese, raw yogurt, and you're getting all of your dairy from grocery stores, that's the first thing I recommend doing. So raw dairy is going to be more difficult to find. Why? Because in most states, it's legal. Dagmar, is it illegal in Texas? Yeah, she's nodding. Okay. It's illegal here in Washington. It's illegal in Nevada. It is not illegal in California. That is the one state I can easily get raw dairy. Guys, if you're watching, is it illegal where you live? Let me know. Whether or not it's illegal, you can actually find loopholes pretty easily. Here's my secret. Write down this URL, realmilk.com. So type it in your browser, realmilk.com, filter your location, and bam, you're going to find raw farms and raw dairy sources near you, co-ops even. Start the relationships with your local raw dairy farmers. It's not that hard. It is going to be a little bit of a search and an under the table search, but it is possible. Okay. And then if you want an easier route where it just ships to your door, I've linked it down below. It is called Miller's Bio Farm. I discovered them around May of this year, and they've changed my life. Like I just order from them and I don't even bother searching for raw dairy. And they're a raw dairy farm in Pennsylvania, East Coast, but they can ship everywhere through a very secret loophole. They label their raw dairy products as for cats and dogs. Okay. Does it actually mean it's only for pets? No, it's their loophole. It's perfectly safe and high quality for humans. That's the only way they can ship it. Okay. So that's linked down below. Let's keep going. Jennifer, is there an average time frame for healing our bodies and metabolism before we begin to really release the stored visceral fat? Dagmar, how long do you think you needed to heal all of your issues and your health conditions?
Like I said, I think it really took at least 6 weeks
Okay, that's good.
before it started to kind of show.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I would say 6 weeks is a perfect amount of time. That's very reasonable, very, very reasonable. I would say the only caveat is if you had a lifelong battle with autoimmune related issues and you've had these issues since you were a child, expect it to take longer than 6 weeks. But I would say 6 weeks is the perfect time frame to just reasonably expect for the body to heal and for the metabolism to start turning around and to start revving up and becoming efficient again. And Jennifer, I'll just add that if you want it to be as efficient and quick and effective and permanent as possible, if there's anything that you take away from today's show, live stream, it's to really commit to eating enough. Because look, I've been in this carnivore community for almost 7 years now. And with the Steak and Butter Gang community, I gather a lot of real life data by observing my members update every single Zoom call, share their updates, ask the questions, troubleshoot. And so when I observe, the number one mistake that I see over and over and over again is, in fact, the under eating. That's why the priming protocol, although it sounds extreme, eating 3 meals a day every day, it's just 2 weeks of your life. It's just 2 weeks. Some will need to do it a little bit longer, but it's worth it. It is necessary and it is so, so healing. But by committing to eating enough, you can really speed up the process of healing and revving up the metabolism again. There is no way you can cheat your body when you have been cutting calories and you've been eating so little and not the right nutrients to force it to heal. There's just no way. We need to commit to eating a carnivore diet and eating enough. Those are the biggest takeaways today, okay? All right. Hard to find truly sugar-free yogurt. I'll give you my favorite brands. Okay, these are grocery store brands, so you can find it honestly anywhere. I like Alexander Farms. I think that's actually the best you can possibly find in grocery stores. It's called Alexander Farms, and just get their plain flavor. It's sugar free. There's no added sugar, but you're going to notice that there are still carbs in the yogurt because there's milk. Okay. So no yogurt is going to be completely zero carb, but as long as there's no added sugar in the ingredients list, you can enjoy it on a carnivore diet. You can fully enjoy it. Okay, let's keep going. Estrelita, 2 years carnivore, struggling with facial rash on cheeks, in front of the ears, and the entire jawline for a year now. I have flares on the cheeks, red spots, itchiness. What am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong, Estrelita. I'm sure you're doing your best and your body is just adapting. Okay. Sometimes our skin issues, like with myself, I had cystic acne. I wonder, Lindy, if you can maybe pull up my skin photos. Take your time, no rush. I don't know if you have it, but I wish I could just show it so you guys can see. Like, I may look like I have clear skin right now, but I wasn't born with good skin at all. I was actually born with terrible skin. Like I felt like I was cursed because ever since I was 14, my skin just pimples every day, psoriasis flare-ups every day, itchy eczema flare-ups every single day, bright red tomato rosacea colored skin every single day. You wouldn't be able to tell that I had these issues, but I did. And I fixed it and I healed it completely thanks to a carnivore diet. So there you go. This is a pretty good photo. So like the left photo right here is just every day my skin. This is not even the worst. And so I would feel so embarrassed and self-conscious having to go to class. I would not be able to make eye contact with anyone. If you can relate with, cystic acne, it really does ruin your self-esteem and confidence. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is like a better photo. Even like my dark circles, so dark and pigmented. I look like I was tired. The redness around my nose and mouth, just so red. Look, if you're having skin issues, please expect the skin to heal last. The skin is our largest organ on our body. So don't expect your skin issues to only take 6 weeks to heal. Okay. My cystic acne, psoriasis, eczema, it took 6 months of a consistent carnivore diet that's full of fats, 6 months before I felt like my skin was finally turning around and getting better and better and better. But before the skin started healing, I was already over the moon with my results because I was feeling better. I was feeling satiated. I felt like my energy was coming back. So, Estrelita, I know that you're 2 years carnivore. I see it in your comment. I wonder if maybe it's time to start troubleshooting with cutting out all dairy. It could be the dairy that's aggravating your skin right now. You could need to do some more gut healing. And so I do recommend a lion diet. Okay. A lion diet is beef, lamb, water. Are you open to doing a lion diet for maybe 2 weeks and then see if it helps calm down your skin? It could just be some ingredient that is aggravating your skin. Dairy tends to be that ingredient. Raw dairy doesn't do that for me. So I really do think there's a difference. Okay, small wonder, is anything animal based okay? Dairy too? I say yes. I don't want you to feel like you have to be boxed into just meat. If you guys are going to start carnivore for the first time, I do recommend enjoying everything, everything. And then you can start cutting out and troubleshooting after you are adapted. Okay. RJ, I lost 30 pounds. Janet here. I eat only once a day. Is that okay? I don't have a thyroid. So, Dagmar, I'm going to test what you've learned in the steak and butter gang. Do you think that she should eat once a day?
I think that's probably a question for Coach Raymond.
Part, yeah.
But when, like, through the levels that he has, we've been working with the fasting.
Mhm.
I'm currently doing the OMADs, getting and preparing for the 48. What does he call them?
So the roll
Rolls,
48s,
the
yeah,
roll 48s. Yeah.
it's great.
So I love it. But at the same time, I'm playing and making sure that I do eat enough to be comfortable, to not starve myself. Um, I don't weigh anything. I just eat till I'm comfortable.
I love that. You really learned everything that is the most important pillars when it comes to succeeding on carnivore. So, for you, Janet, I'll share my thoughts. If you don't have a thyroid, the first thing that I think about is, are you eating enough fat? Because anyone who doesn't have a thyroid or has thyroid issues, whether it's hyperthyroid or hypothyroid, I want to really stress a high fat carnivore diet is probably crucial for you. I don't want to be forceful with my recommendation with a high fat carnivore diet because I get that there's a lot of skepticism around a very high fat approach because we've been taught to fear fat our whole lives. But I have seen too many women heal from thyroid issues, heal from hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism to not recommend it every single time. So if you don't believe me, Dr. Elizabeth Bright is who I recommend starting to watch all of the podcasts that she has been a guest on, order all of her books, which are all on Amazon. She just came out with her third book. So she now has the first book for all women to read, the second book for young women, and the third book all about thyroid healing. So I would start with the first book or just watch all the free videos with Dr. Bright here on YouTube. And if you are ready to start working with Dr. Bright, because she does offer live guidance and coaching, I'll put this up. She has an excellent community where you can choose to just join her group calls to learn directly from her, or you can have her actually analyze your blood work and your thyroid labs. And so if you scroll down, I know it's not very budget friendly. The $2.99 per month is so that Dr. Bright can look at your labs, your thyroid labs as well, analyze them, and give you an actual treatment plan on how to heal accordingly. So, this plan is priceless for anyone who actually wants to heal from their issues, whether it be thyroid, adrenal, or cortisol issues. Dr. Bright is hands down the expert and the person that I recommend to go to for anyone who comes to me with those types of issues. Okay. So, Lindy's going to drop the links to Dr. Bright's community in the live chat. I'll also make sure it is added to the description box. I hope it is there. It might not be. I'll add it after. Oh, no, it is there. It's the line under the description box labeled Get Your Labs Analyzed and Treated Here, and you'll see this exact website. Okay, so thought I would just bring that up because anything thyroid related, this is so out of my scope of knowledge. It really is Dr. Bright's scope. Let's keep going. Thank you, Lindy. All right, so Russ says, did you say that raw fat is easier to digest? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So raw suet, raw beef fat trimmings, all of these things are so, so, so easy to digest, even easier than cooked fat. Let me give you an example because I feel like having analogies are easier to understand. When you take a big fatty chunk of ribeye, you notice the fat cap is white. You notice that it's a solid piece of fat, right? After you cook that ribeye in your air fryer, in the barbecue, on the grill, what happens to that fat cap? It's no longer solid and hard and white. It becomes like a glob of chewy, cooked, yellow, melty fat. It's almost nauseating because it's so fatty, but it's cooked and it's hot and it's kind of melted. It just doesn't digest as well. Okay. I don't know the science. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a girl that likes to troubleshoot and experiment. Every single time I eat that fat cap cooked versus eating that fat cap completely raw and solid and white, I notice it immediately in my digestion. Okay. When I first went carnivore, I had, sorry to be TMI, but I had explosive diarrhea for so long because my body didn't know how to digest the fat. It's been 6 years of being vegan and I go into a carnivore diet. Of course, it's going to have trouble learning how to digest fat. Well, it made it worse when I would drink the melted fat when I cook my ground beef, when I would eat that cooked fat cap on my ribeye. I would run to the toilet immediately after eating the cooked fats. It just caused this immediate reaction to want to go run to the toilet. And I would also feel very nauseated. And then I learned the trick to eat cold butter instead. So it doesn't necessarily have to be raw fat. It can also just be solid cold butter or solid cold beef fat, solid cold tallow, as long as it's in its solid cold form versus that melted hot, it really makes a difference. I hope that makes sense. But yes, it does digest easier. I highly recommend it if you have digestion issues, okay? Maniwa. Maniwa was our last transformation prize winner. So I love that we have our prize winners joining us every week. Thank you, Maniwa, for joining. Hi, Bella. I'm working on upping my fat. Great. I am eating about 3 tablespoons per meal. Amazing. So happy with the help that SPG gives. Oh, yay. It's not a question. It's a fantastic fatty update. That's great. I love that Maniwa is doing 1 tablespoon at a time and tracking it by tablespoons. I want you guys to know that even though when I show myself eating my carnivore meals, I am most of the times eating a stick of butter or a whole block of raw Miller's Biofarm butter. Even though I eat anywhere from half a stick to a full stick of butter every single day, you should never be copying me and jumping into the way that I do things immediately. That is the worst way to do any protocol or any modality. Please slowly transition. I get how everybody wants results now. Even better, I wish I had those results yesterday. I know how impatient we all get. It's the world we live in. Instant gratification right now. Amazon Prime, deliver it right now. Like, come on, it's in every aspect of our life. But instant gratification is not where the permanent results happen, it's in the journey. So, slow transition is so effective, and it's going to be helpful so that your body can actually acclimate to eating more and more and more and more fat. Whether or not you land on the amount of fat that I eat as a high fat carnivore, it doesn't matter. You do not need to be eating as much as Bella Steak and Butter Gal eats when it comes to the butter and the fat and the animal fat content. You just don't. So, I want to encourage you guys that a little bit more fat every single day is always going to be beneficial. Just don't do it overnight. Don't do one stick of butter tomorrow and expect magical results. That's not how our healing works. That's not how our bodies work. Okay. So, encouraging you to eat high fat, but please do it slowly, like Maniwa. Okay. All right, Russ, a couple more questions and I'll wrap up for the night. Can we talk about other raw carnivore foods? I truly began healing when I started eating tons of raw organs and raw marrow. Do you eat other raw foods? I actually had a whole experiment my first year, I want to say, because I really wanted to heal my skin as fast as possible. And there was a good amount of time where I was eating nothing but organs raw. No, I was eating everything, but I was eating organs, but only raw, is what I meant. So I was eating liver, I was eating brain, I was even eating heart, kidney. I got all of the highest quality organs and I was just eating it raw. And I will tell you, the amount of translucent glow that I was seeing in my skin and the discoloration fading and just being more even skin tone was very real. So I do believe eating organs can be extremely beneficial because those are the true superfoods. They're so potent in all the nutrients and micronutrients. The only issue that I have with organs is that they taste disgusting to me. Like, I cannot stomach or enjoy the flavor of organs. And I insisted that I wanted to eat it raw because I knew that that was the best way to eat organs instead of cooking it. And so I did discover a trick to eat liver raw without having to suffer with the disgusting taste. Take your raw liver, cut it up into little bites, freeze it, and swallow it like a little capsule, like a little supplement. Drink it down with your favorite broth or some water, and you're good to go. You don't have to taste the disgusting flavor and the irony, bloody taste. And I do think organs are a fantastic addition to a carnivore diet, but I don't think it is absolutely crucial. If you cannot stomach organs, you don't want to eat it, you still can thrive on a carnivore diet without it. I have seen too many cases. One is Kelly Hogan. Kelly Hogan is a 16-year carnivore by now. I highly recommend searching her up. Kelly Hogan Carnivore. Her channel is called My Zero Carb Life. She's the reason I found carnivore, by the way. So I give her all of my thanks. Who here knows Kelly Hogan? I'm sure you all already know. But Russ, if you don't know Kelly Hogan, check her out as well. There are so many long-term carnivores that don't eat organs every day / never, and they thrive. All right, last question. Michelle, how long to adapt? I'm 14 months carnivore and I'm still sleepy after meals. Okay, Michelle, this could be that you're not eating enough fat. I listen to 2 doctors these days because I have a lot of things that I want to do. I have a lot of content that I want to post. So I keep the experts that I listen to day to day very minimal. So to block out any extra noise, I highly recommend it. Dr. Anthony Chafee and Dr. Elizabeth Bright. These 2 experts are the only doctors I listen to. I watch all of their videos. I watch all of their podcasts. I play it when I'm going on a walk. Both of these doctors highly, highly recommend, if not demand, that you need to be eating enough fat on a carnivore diet. And so I really question, Michelle, maybe you're not adapted and you're not fully fat adapted and using fat as fuel right now because you're just not eating enough fat yet. So do what Maniwa did. Up the fats by 1 tablespoon, maybe over a span of a month. Do it gradually, but intentionally start eating more fats, please. Okay, I want to do Gracie's and I'm going to wrap up. Bella just joined SPG last week and loved the community so far. Yay, Gracie. Welcome to the gang. Thoughts on coffee consumption and also salt for long term carnivores. I have a lot of thoughts, and I also have a lot of experiments that I did. I cut out coffee completely because trust me, I hear Dr. Anthony Chaffee in everything he says. Coffee is poison. If you really cut out the coffee completely, that's when you truly feel superhuman. I cut out the coffee completely, and I think maybe I'm just an anomaly, but I didn't feel unicorn, magical rainbows, and butterflies types of benefits. Maybe I did it wrong, but I tried. And then I added the coffee back, and life was beautiful again. So I have black coffee every single day. My hack that I know works over and over and over, I see it with my members. Just have the coffee after a fatty breakfast, please. And you can still get the benefits of a carnivore diet and enjoy your coffee and have that beautiful life you want to live. So I think coffee's fine. I mean, if you're curious, what happens if you cut out coffee? Do it. Do it. I do hear magical stories in the steak and butter gang all the time. Members cut out the coffee and bam, the results are happening. Bam, they feel better than ever. So I think is very personal. And then the salt. Okay, this one, I was a no salt carnivore for the longest time. I want to say up until this year, I was a hardcore no salt carnivore. And I knew that I wasn't crazy and that I was doing it wrong because I saw other like 10 to 15-year veteran carnivores also live a no salt carnivore life. And so I recommend looking into Joe and Charlene Anderson, as well as Dana Spencer. Yes. And then the Zeroing In on Health Facebook group was the OG original carnivore community of all time. And Amber, yes, Amber is one of them too. Amber O'Hearn is her full name. She is an OG carnivore and she lives a no salt carnivore life. And so with these no salt carnivores, myself included, we just felt better with no salt. We notice when we have no salt, our energy is through the roof. We just feel so energetic. Our sleep is better. What else? Like our appetite is very 100% crystal clear. I was no salt carnivore for the first 6 years of my carnivore diet. Now I do eat salt only when I have my raw cheese, my raw cottage cheese, although I'll try to get unsalted if I can for the cottage cheese. But the raw cheese, you can't have no salt cheeses. And these days, I love these US Wellness beef adobo meatballs. And I do love Teton's beef sausages that I get at Costco. These types of foods, there's salt in there. There's no way around it. So I just have salt whenever I have those foods and I'm fine. Like it doesn't affect my energy anymore. And I truly believe that it's because I'm now working out a lot more. So I'm doing dumbbell workouts. I do it 3 times a week or whenever I can. And so naturally, I'm sweating a little bit more than usual. So the extra salt that I'm adding into my diet is no problem now. Okay, so I hope that helped. I hope I gave you guys plenty of resources and people to search and learn from because honestly, this carnivore community is incredible. There are more and more voices popping up, more and more channels, Instagram pages, more and more carnivore communities. And I just want to say I'm grateful that you still watch my stuff and that you're in the steak and butter gang, that you choose my community if you're in there. I love you guys so much. I have to thank a carnivore diet for saving my life and for giving back my energy, my happiness, my purpose, and my energy. I already said that, my energy back. It's a long day, guys. And I really love this community so much. So thank you for supporting my live streams every single week. I will see you next week so I can hang out with Aspen now. I love you guys. See you next Friday, or see you in the Steak and Butter Gang, or see you on my next YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.